Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Gray Area. Whoa. Wait a minute, Terrence. Wait a minute. That's not the name of the show anymore, is it?
Uh-oh.
See, on one hand, I kind of want to do like a big reveal. But on the other hand, in theory, if anyone's listening to this, they must have clicked on it and downloaded it. So they probably know the name of the new show. We're going to reveal our new name. As you already know, the name is... Actually, Terrence, you tell them. You probably say it better than me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the Need I Say More podcast, starring Joe and Terrence.
Yeah, that's us.
There we go.
There it is.
There we go. Thank you. You're far too kind.
Well, longer than I thought. But yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Terrence, first off, episode 10. Our first milestone. We did it, man. Double digits.
It feels good.
It's a big deal.
It feels good. Good.
People should be happy. I'm happy.
Definitely
yes,
happy.
as you just heard with our awesome new intro music, we now have a new name. Need I say more? Yeah, man, I'm excited. We got Terrence. I don't do this often, but we got a good show on tap. This is like Babe Ruth calling it right here.
Oh, you're calling it?
I'm calling it. If this is your first episode listening, or if it's your fucking 10th episode, you picked a good one.
Love it. Let's go.
Yeah, man. So need I say more? So let's before we get to kind of the name change, let's of course do our Black History Year, Black Excellence shout out, Terrence.
Absolutely.
That doesn't change. The show name may change, but the show itself does not change.
No. Well, who would I be if I'm changing up on people? Right?
Some imposter.
Yeah. I mean, I think if anybody met me or you, they'd say we're definitely consistently the same person. You know?
Yeah, we grow, but we're still us.
I appreciate that. And with that, my Black Excellence shout out for today's show goes out to Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes. Do I
Shonda
know that
Rhimes.
person? Let's see.
You should know.
That's kind of familiar.
All right. She is absolutely fucking amazing. She is the creator of Grey's Anatomy, the creator of Private Practice, the creator of Scandal, producer of How to Get Away with Murder, also producer on the latest like popular show on Netflix, which I have not watched yet. Is it Bridgerton? Right.
I think Bridgerton is one.
Bridgerton, right? That's the name of it. Whatever. She's produced on that too, though. But Shonda Land, from what they call it, because she has done nothing but been successful in everything she's touched. You know,
what's the land?
Shonda Land is basically her production company.
No.
Yeah, so Shonda Land is her production company. Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, Off the Map, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, The Catch, Still Star Course, For the People, Station 19, and Bridgerton. So this lady has been killing. I
mean, yeah, dude, Scandal and How to Get Away.
A long time.
I mean, I can't believe Grey's Anatomy is still going. 16
still
years.
Around.
But that Private Practice was like a good spinoff. People liked it. And then Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder are two big popular shows, man.
I was watching Scandal when it came out. I mean, I fell off like the last season or two or whatever, but I was watching it. I also want to start watching How to Get Away with Murder. I heard it was so good, so I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till it's finished.
Right. Okay.
That's what I did with Game of Thrones as well.
I've heard good stuff about this. She has a rule that I think you probably need to adopt, Terrence, where
what's that? Basically,
if you call her phone, this is what I've heard about this lady, actually. I didn't even know you were going to pick this person, but I have heard of her before. If you call her phone after 7, it just goes to voicemail, and the voicemail is like, hey, it's after 7 p.m. I'm out having a life. You should probably have one too. That's what you need in your life, Terrence. You need time to just relax, because pretty much outside of the show, I think you're just working the entire time.
I'm busy, and anybody that knows me knows that I stay busy. Like I stay busy.
But you should be like her.
Always doing something. It's crazy because I was watching Magic Johnson on SportsCenter earlier, and he was talking about how he wake up at 5:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning every single day.
That's too much, man.
Every single day he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning.
Gotta relax, man. You gotta relax in your life. What's the point of living if you're not gonna enjoy it? What's the point of being alive? The point of life is to live, Terrence.
But I'm getting there. I'm going to bed earlier now. I go to bed at 10:30.
That's the opposite of living, though. I wouldn't say, oh, now you're living, Terrence. You're going to bed early.
I get up early. I'm up at 7:30. getting the day started. I go to bed early. I get a lot done though. I get a lot done.
Yeah,
So
but that's what I'm trying to say. You're
but
always doing something. I feel like you should just take a chill pill.
eh,
Take a page out of our shout out of the week of Shonda Rhimes, man. Just chill.
got it. We'll try. We'll try.
He ain't doing anything, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me.
No.
So yeah, first topic, of course, Terrence. Let's talk about the name of the show. So why do we change the name of the show, Terrence?
Why did we change the name of the show? All right. First, before we get into that, I really want to touch on why are we even doing this, right?
Doing talking.
Doing talking.
Why are we doing this talking thing, Terrence?
Doing this talking.
Let's talk about that.
Why are we even doing a podcast? Why are we even doing a show, right? I can't speak for Joe, but I can definitely speak for myself when I say
I can speak for both Terrence and I, actually. So
when I say that I wanted to do whatever I felt like I procrastinated on. I came into, the ending of 2020 and 2021 and really was just like, you know what? I've had a lot of great ideas in my life. I've started a lot of great things. And I no longer want to get to age 50 or 60 years old and say, you know what? I should have did, etc. when I had a chance to do it. No longer want to do that. So it was important for, you and I to get back together and kind of pick up on something that we started a few years ago. We were ahead of the podcasting.
We were
ahead of the gaming industry
when we first mentioned doing a podcast was like 2011, 2012. That, man, if we would have gotten in early, and then we actually did it in 2016, and now everyone has a podcast. So
yeah. And the next thing, when it came to the name was, when we came up with the Gray Area podcast, we came up with that name during, what was it, 2012? 2016?
I don't remember. 2016 we did the show. I don't remember specifically when we came up with the name.
I feel like we had the name before that because we had Karan do some
shout out to Karan Clark. If you need some badass art, you look up
shout out to K-Dot killing.
What's his name on Instagram? Prince Hotbod
on Instagram. And when we came up with that name, it was years ago. Obviously, we were in a different place. We were, mentally as well in a different place in our lives. So that name kind of fit us. It kind of fit us. It kind of fit what we were doing and everything like that. We want
to talk about how, like, there's so many things in this world that everything is, people think of as black and white, when in reality is most things are not black and white. That was like the point.
Right. And then, as we kind of were, relaunching the show and everything, was just like, you know what? We're different people. We're, new versions and better versions of ourselves. How can we kind of spread that to the world and show them that we are making that change and, we're becoming better people. And the Need I Say More name basically came a little bit from the gray area concept of being able to touch on things that people just kind of stray away from, but also in a sense of like, you know what? Sometimes you can say a lot without saying much. And you always get to that point where, sometimes you get to that point where you've made your point and you got more ammo, but it's just like, need I say more?
Yeah.
That's about it.
You made your point. Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. It's about making your point. When you get to a certain age, you make your point a lot more clear and a lot more efficiently. And that's where we are in life, is about doing things a lot more efficiently and making sure that we're making a point. And just
you know what? And you know what? Need I say more? It's important because it's like, on the one hand, you could finish saying something as a need I say more, and it's just end. But maybe sometimes there's more to say. That's the whole point, right? Maybe sometimes there is more to say, and then one of us will say, "Well, actually, I have something else to say." Also, I think it's a good. And
that's where the learning part comes in too.
Yeah,
we're learning every episode, ladies and gentlemen. Like 100%. We're learning every episode.
100%. Terrence. So I think, listen, nothing else is really going to change. Well, let me take that back. The concept of the show is largely going to be the same. We do have a new intro music, as you just heard, which I think is better. It's more suited for what we want. Obviously the name changes, and we're trying to always improve the podcast. So you might see some subtle changes, like the way we sound and everything. But everything else is still going to be us. We're going to talk about some stuff, and we're going to give some stuff to think about and hopefully laugh if we can do that.
Yeah. We're going to have a surprise guest here and there. you
Here
know,
and there, yeah.
if it makes sense, you know, but we
Yeah, not
like the
just
way
for
it's
the
been
sake
going.
of it. Yeah. Got some good feedback on our last two guests, so yeah. I did,
Yeah.
something I was thinking about was the first episode we filmed of the show. Technically, no one's ever heard. We have a lost episode, Terrence, because
What?
people don't really know about this. I guess Terrence already forgot. The first episode we recorded, the audio is all fucked up. The syncing completely messed up, and for whatever reason, we couldn't figure out why that was. We made a bunch of adjustments since, but we have a lost, like unknown episode that no one will ever probably hear because it's all fucked up. So technically, we have like a 0.5 episode 0.5 one day. Maybe we'll release it one day.
Nice little special features.
Yeah, if you buy the DVD set, you get the bonus features.
I like it.
I was thinking about them when I was in third. What I think about when you're a kid, these things just start to happen to you and like your friends or whatever it is, and it just kind of stays that way. Like what I mean by that is like when I was in third grade, I remember most of the kids in my class, because we had to sit in a very specific place, same order every day. I don't know how it was for you, but it was like you sat at the same table, everyone's at the
like
same
the
order.
assigned seats thing,
third
right?
grade. Yeah. So I remember most kids got lunch at school, and you'd always get like a little spork. Remember sporks? You get a little spork.
Yeah, we used to. Did you guys? Because I know y'all was in Florida. Did y'all bend the back of it and like flip it onto somebody else's sport to break it?
I don't think so. I don't.
It was like a game. It was.
This is my point. This is my point. When you're kids, these things just kind of formulate somehow, and then it's just like part of your life. Like that was like what I was gonna say about the sport thing is that on the back of the sporks, all of them had like a number like 1 through 0, like 999, and every day. Whenever we'd all sit down, the first thing we would do, because you slowly like come out one by one, is everyone, yes, and whoever had the highest number won. And what they won was nothing, but whoever had the highest number won. We always went, what number you have? And that was like every day that was a thing. It's like what you were saying with like breaking them or whatever. Like when you're a kid, these things used to become these things, like these weird things you do. That was done every day. I don't even know how it started, but that's just how it happened.
Yeah. I mean,
I love stuff like that.
What is it? Like you create a lot of stupid stuff,
like traditions when you're and just things. Yeah. Like you just create things
stuff like that. I don't know if y'all ever did, man, New York public schools were kind of crazy or whatever, but did y'all ever do booty tag?
It sounds perverse, but no.
Oh my God.
Booty tag, you slap a girl on the ass and run?
Yes.
That's so sexual harassment is what you're saying. Did I ever sexually harass her?
You're in elementary school, junior high school. I know. Like,
and that's what it was though, right? That's what you just
it was sexual harassment.
But that was the thing when you listen.
Adults can now say that, but
listen, when you were kids, especially when you were in like middle and high school. Well, I think it was like almost, it wasn't like when you got to be like a junior, senior in high school, it kind of faded a bit, but especially like middle school and early high school years, you were just trying to touch any woman you could. Like if there was an opportunity, like when you go to a pool, I don't know if you did this much in New York, but like going to a pool, like do like chicken fights, like a girl is on your fucking shoulders. Like that shit's just because you all want to touch each other.
No, the public pools in New York are very, very dirty.
That was a common thing in Florida for the fucking pool every 12 feet. So a very common thing was like chicken fights, just like a way. I mean, you get to see girls in bikinis, obviously, but then it was like, yeah, like she's literally sitting on your fucking shoulders. It's all sorts of shit like that. That's such little perverts when we were younger, weren't we all?
Absolutely. I learned about bra cup sizes in like 10th grade.
I don't think I really understood cup sizes in any capacity until I was like 23. I'll be honest. Like, I knew what they were, but I didn't really. Well, this might surprise you, Terrence, but when I was younger, I was not just rolling in women. I mean, I know everyone's gasping right now, but I was not just, slaying it, as they say. Or slinging dick.
Sling it. You wasn't slinging.
I wasn't slinging a lot of dick. I wasn't slinging a lot of dick in high school. I mean, I know you've always thought of me as that kind of guy, but everything's coming out now on a.
If there's anybody under 18 listening to this, just know sex is overrated.
Yeah, it's amazing, but it's not what they make it out to be.
It's overrated.
Sex is great. Sex is amazing, but people make it seem like it's this life-altering thing, and it's not.
Yeah, no.
It's great. It's just not that. But yeah, man, oh man, no, I wasn't slinging dick in high school.
Hearing you say that is wild though. Like that's funny, the funny part about it.
I had an ex who, she was, I don't want to say she's like proper quote unquote, but like she wouldn't curse that much. She would here and there, but so it became a running thing where I would love to like be extra vulgar with her about certain things, and she would usually do it back, and it was like hilarious. Like say something like that. I remember one time I was like, "That was some good pussy you threw my way last night," And it was like, she's always like the funniest thing because it's such like in a vulgar, it's not how either of us really talks, but it's such a vulgar thing. It gets a great reaction, you know?
Yo, that's your dirty talk.
No, it wasn't dirty talk. It was like the next day I texted that to her.
Just like
Why would I say that to her in bed? I was like, no, but like stuff like that, you say something like just absurd, like something especially vulgar, like that wasn't how we talked, you know? So
that's wild though. That's wild.
shit.
I don't think
still
I've
think
ever.
that's hilarious.
How do you compliment like the next day, like how good it was?
But
that's
like, is that an actual question?
Yeah, I'm now that I'm thinking about it, like, because now you just, you hit it the next day and was like, yo, that was some good pussy. Like,
I mean,
I've said that to myself and like maybe like my boys after.
You were like, I slung some good dick last night. You said that to yourself?
No, I'm not saying that to myself.
No, you know what it is though with her, and that was just like, it was funny because like being vulgar with her like that, since we weren't that way at all, like especially vulgar was funny, but also like she would say something like that back, and it was just funny. It was like a doofy thing, like we both found very funny when we were being like more vulgar like that. But how to actually, I don't know. I mean, you just, whatever you're feeling in the moment, you just say, you know. If you could always just say something to her. I'm not gonna freaking tell you how to sex Terrence, but you'll figure it out when you get older. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, when you get to be a big boy. So Terrence,
we're not gonna do that now. You're not going to do that now.
So in philosophy, Terrence, we're doing papers, and we did this peer review where like you turn the paper in and he'll randomly assign somebody and then you review it, and it's anonymous. You don't know who you're reviewing. But I was reading it, and basically, quick, I don't want to bore you with it, but the rundown of the paper was like, present a moral dilemma, whether you've seen it in a movie or TV show, or real life dilemma, or something you made up. And then there's two different like philosophical perspectives we've studied, and how would they basically look at this perspective, right? Would they judge it moral, immoral? What would they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was reading this person's paper. It was supposed to be 1,200 words. So this person did 5 pages. First off, nothing annoys me more, Terrence, than when someone clearly is like using a thesaurus. You know, they're like Googling these words to try to get like bigger and better words.
Big words.
Fucking hell, Terrence. Because that's what I had to deal with, especially in the first like paragraph. I was just like, yo, like, what are you doing? Just say what you want to say.
When have you ever used this word?
Yes,
like on a regular.
Listen. We all want to sound our best in papers, right? That's fine, but you don't need to fucking, try. Like, I think at one point someone's like, when we view these things through prisms of sagacity, I was like, what the fuck are you saying right now? I don't even know what that meant. I had to like Google some of this stuff. The endeavors that we encounter. I was like, oh, for fun. So that was annoying. But then the second part of this problem, Terrence, I think people get scared when you have like word limit, like, oh, write at least 1,200 words, write at least 3 pages, whatever it is. Bro, it was a 5-page paper. The first 3 pages, so 60% of it, was them explaining the dilemma and what these philosophies were. That's not what what we're supposed to write was how these philosophies would answer the dilemma, not what they are. And I was like, oh my God, they barely
but it's a way around it. It's a loophole though, right?
Well, it's a good way to get
to the words.
It's a good way to get a bad grade. Yeah. Cause the professor's not a moron. He's not a robot. He's going to look at it and go, well, you just spent 800 words talking about what the philosophies are. I don't know. I'd be curious what that person gets on a grade. But anyway, I just thought it was fun. I think it's funny when people, you can always tell when people, I think you said, like, you have to use words that you're likely to use in some capacity. Maybe not you would always say, but don't just start throwing crazy words that.
Yeah, I mean, instead of saying like in conclusion, you can just be like, to summarize the thoughts of, this essay or something like that. Don't be like, drag it out a bit.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. There's a lot of filler in this thing where it was like, so if we take a second and look back on the question we just proposed, what we can extrapolate from that's like, okay, you don't need all of that was just nonsense. You could have just said, this means, like it's just funny to me. All right, Terrence. So college. Yeah. All right, Terrence. So I got a story to tell.
What's your story, Joe?
I love that so much. I didn't think I'd actually have another story because, like I said last week, we don't.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we don't have much going on in our lives. So I didn't think I'd have two stories in a row. All right, Terrence. So was on Saturday, a few days ago, at home. It's like 9:45 at night. I was about to eat dinner. I was eating dinner a little late that night. But I'm about to eat dinner, watching some TV, right? I hear like some kind of like sounds like a fire alarm, like a beep, beep, whatever, like that sound.
In your crib or like in the hallway?
Like somewhere in the vicinity, like not in my apartment, but somewhere else. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
okay.
we talked about it last week. It's New York City, man. There's always some fucking
Yeah,
alarm
yeah,
going off. Like, who gives a shit? I ignored it. And like literally it went on a few minutes, but I'm watching TV. It's not like that. It wasn't that loud, so I ignored it. About 5 minutes later, I hear like fire department. Like, again, in the distance though. And I was like, it's one of those things where I was like, it's just a coincidence,
the
like,
truck, like the fire
yeah,
truck.
like the boo,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like you definitely hear them coming. But I
Yeah.
was like, again, it was in the distance. I was like, it's whatever. But this is my apartment, and even though I have roommates, I consider myself somewhat like responsible for what happens here. So let me just take a look at the hallway. So I go to the hallway, the apartment building hallway. I open the door, just ton of smoke. Like this
Smoking your building was on fire?
the build yeah, so there's a ton of smoke, and not like billowing like a 5 alarm fire billows, but a lot of smoke to where I went, holy shit. I was like, holy shit. So one of my roommates over here, he's like, what's wrong? I was like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm like, there's a fire or something. He's like, he opens the door, he goes, holy shit, yeah, you're right. So we both run to our rooms. Again, it's like it's 9:45 and we were in for the night, putting my pants on, like pajama, I'm putting jeans on, all that stuff. I knock on my roommate's door, and he had his headphones in, so he was just relaxing. I was like, bro, we get the fuck out. I was like, it's fire. He's like, oh, shit.
Wait, you went back into your room?
Well, I had to get changed. I was just in like pajama bottoms and a t-shirt.
So you weren't thinking, let me just run out?
Well, there wasn't a fire outside of the door. There was smoke. So clearly we weren't at risk to die. Like, if there's a fire in my apartment, it'd be different. It was a fire somewhere. All I saw was smoke. Yeah, you have to,
okay. So
see,
you
panic.
you're saying like you didn't
panic.
know.
I
No,
assessed
no,
the
no.
situation.
I'm trying to understand your thought process right now, right?
Yeah,
Because
we
if you
saw the
don't know where the
smoke.
fire is
Listen,
coming from,
we saw a bunch of smoke in the hallway. So it's fire somewhere. Like, we got to get out of the building. Like, obviously, we heard the fire, everything. Like, someone's been alerted, but we got to get out because it's not safe. And there's no smoke in our apartment. We have a great door that blocks it out, but it was like there's a problem. But yeah, we had enough time. All three of us went back in our rooms, got changed properly. We all got like our wallets. I'm going to have his passport. Like, we were like, again, we weren't in immediate danger then, but we didn't know the full extent of it. But we just knew, like, if I saw flames outside of the door, it'd have been like,
so was it
shit.
like oven smoke kind of?
No, it was like white smoke, like white gray smoke, but it was like thick in the hallway.
Oh, so it wasn't like crazy then. If it was white,
like I said, it wasn't like black 5 alarm fire.
Right.
Like that would have been. We have fire escapes. That would have been like, we'll run out the fucking fire escape. But it was like there's smoke. We gotta get out. So anyway, 2 minutes it takes us all pretty much to get our stuff. I go to my other roommate. She's not home, but just checked. I'm like, we're all good. We were all like, yeah, we're good. And look, we gotta get out. In the 2 minutes it took for me to go in and out, like multiple firefighters now outside the door. They're going up to the roof. They're going upstairs. Like, holy shit. So we go downstairs. As we get to the third floor, we realize the fire's on the third floor. So it's my building is split into two sides. We're on the one side. The fire is on the floor below us on the other side, though. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're going down, as firefighters, I got a hose starting to come in. We're going like, holy shit, there's a lot of people already. Like, it just happened so quick. We're in like the hallway to leave the building, but there's like literally multiple firefighters coming in and out. The door to get out of the building is not very big, so we can't really get past them. So we just kind of hold on for a second. I thought this was a weird moment because we were waiting there for a second while they get them through, and some firefighter walked by, like, hey guys, I wouldn't be standing in the hallway right now.
The firefighter said that?
Yeah, and I want to be like, bro, we couldn't. What do you want us to do? Push you guys out of the way? Like, we figured you were more important in this situation, but we didn't say anything. But I was like, we're just standing here for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we all leave. We leave the building. We look up, and there's like the orange glow coming from the building. I was like, holy shit, this is like a big deal.
Chosen one.
There's already what?
The chosen one.
What does that mean?
Like the orange glow, like the golden child was like an orange glow around it. Your building was the chosen one.
Oh, it's just that's
glow.
weird. Yeah. But it's just from the third floor. We see it. And I was like, holy shit. And there's already like a cherry picker up there. They're already starting to hose. It was like, this is crazy. So we're waiting out there, and we're just kind of waiting. We're not really sure. And then I was talking in the room, and I was like, should we be worried about our stuff? Like, what do you think are the odds? And he was like, no. He was like, listen. He was like, it's on the other side on the third floor. If it somehow gets across the hall and upstairs, the whole building's already gone. So I don't think.
Yeah.
As we're waiting out there, me and him were talking for a few minutes, and there's like a good 30, 40 firefighters, handful of people outside. We're all waiting, see what's going on. The fucking firefighter goes to the fourth floor, fucking hacks through the window, glass are shattering everywhere. And I was like, it seems weird. Like, they were already in the building. I'm like, I don't know why you got to hack through the, because there was no fire in the fourth floor.
What was that? Wait, why did he go to the fourth floor if he said the fire was on the third?
That's the thing. Fire does rise, so I understand having to go in there, but to hack through the window seemed a bit superfluous for me. I was like, I don't know. Like you're in the building, you could just go into that door, presumably, like through the door, and the hose went through the building, not on the outside. Maybe there's both. I don't know, but it felt like a weird thing. So anyway, so we're sitting out there, we're waiting, and there's this kid, probably like 20, 25, somewhere in that ballpark. And he's like walking back. He's like pacing, like near where we are, like back and forth on the sidewalk. And so after a few times, I was like, asked my roommate, I was like, you think he has something to do with it? He's the only one who seems like agitated. Everyone else is more like, we got to stand out here until this is fixed. And then eventually we hear him on his phone, like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. And I was like, oh, he definitely did it then. Like, he definitely is the cause of this fire.
What the hell did he do? Did they find out?
I'll get to that, Terrence. So he keeps on doing that, going back and forth, firefighters going in. And then, honestly, man, half hour, we were outside. They were like, all right, you guys can go back in. Like, they managed to do a phenomenal job. So shout out to FDNY, New York's bravest. They did not fuck around at all. At one point, the kid that I was telling you about, he like stopped. He was talking to some people. I think one of his roommates came home, like did not look happy. I mean, who would be?
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a thing. You got roommates, man. Like he had a bad day, let me tell you. But then at one point, he like was looking at his hand, like the back of his hand, and like like the firefighter hoses have like they link them together, so they're like usually there's like water coming out a little bit, like because it's not like an airtight thing. There's a bunch of water all over. He was putting his hand next to the water, and then I heard him say something about a burn, and I wanted to be like, guy, no one gives a fuck about your boo boo, like we're all outside the street because you somehow started the fire. I would not be talking about my own personal like I kind of burned my hand slightly,
I still want to know what happened though. Like what started the fire?
I'm not positive, but my super was just over before we started recording, and he mentioned he believed the kid said it was like an electrical thing of some sort. I was really wondering about the whole thing, but he was saying that. But then my super was like, I looked around, didn't see anything wrong with any electricals. He was like, he thinks he was smoking, and something happened.
Something caught fire.
And listen, man, firefighters, well, they figure it out. They know they always can figure out. I don't know what their method is, but they figure out exactly where the fire starts. So he's fucked because if that was the case, he's gonna have to probably pay for all the damages. Like the woman. So I met the girl actually who she got her fucking room hacked into. Like her whole window's gone. Like he's part of the wall's fucked up. So she's screwed. So he has to pay for that and all whatever damage happened. But
the owner of the building has a lot of shit they got to pay for.
Yeah, but then if he was smoking, if it was negligence, he's fucked. He's gonna get kicked out and have to pay for it. They're probably gonna sue him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's not that you're gonna go, oh no problem. It's not like I was curious. Like he made it seem like it was a TV show where like he knocked over a pot and the fucking drapes got caught on fire and he couldn't like stop it. He was, like I don't know what happened. That's why I wanted to know. Like if it was smoking and he just like let a fucking joint or something next to something that caught fire, I don't know, but. It was a weird situation, man. Like it was FDNY, man. They fucking killed it. Like they literally 30 minutes we were outside. I thought it was gonna be hours.
Everybody got out safe though.
Everyone was safe. Everyone was safe, and my apartment was untouched almost, but everything was good. Do you want to know what the craziest part of this, Terrence? So I'm on the fourth floor. We go back upstairs. We walk in. I go to close the door. It doesn't close. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, why isn't this like? There's no like the little thing that like the closes the door, the little whatever that is that pushes out, you know what I'm saying?
Like we turn
when you turn the handle,
that
little
that little thing.
That little thing, it's not there. And I look at the door. Clearly, one of the firemen fucking took the axe to the door and broke our door open.
For what?
Exactly. I was like, why? I was like, we're on the other side of the building on the floor above it. And I was like, what? And
that was probably the one that you was talking shit with.
I think there were some overeager fucking young firefighters. They want to hack open the fucking window, kick it. Because here's the thing, Terrence. Today I did my laundry. We're the only door in the whole building that happened to. No one else's door
kicked in like that.
Yeah, the door that the window got hacked in, they didn't have that, and then the one next to them didn't have it. But across the hall, we got it. Why the fuck do you need to kick in our door? Like literally, what was the point? If you were looking for people, what about every other apartment in the building? Why are we the only ones who got it? Like honestly, I could not tell you. I just had to have the super over earlier. He had to put a new doorknob on, and so now I have to go get fucking spare keys made because it's only 2 keys. I was like, well, this is fucking great. Yeah, it was a weird
That's funny.
situation, Terrence. The whole thing was very strange. Like I said, fortunately, no one was hurt. That kid is financially hurt. I'll tell you that much. But everything else was good. It was a very bizarre situation, and that was my story.
Oh, again, happy everybody got out safe.
No,
That's
for
about
sure,
it.
for sure. Love it.
Joe's story to tell.
Yeah, don't expect too many more of those. I'll be honest, Terrence. Who the hell knows how often it's going to happen, but crazy, wasn't it? Because it really puts things in perspective where you're like, what if it was like on my floor? What if my whole apartment caught fire? What if it wasn't here? Like my whole life is in this apartment, like I don't even know what I would do after that. Like,
Well, thank God I've never had to go through that experience. I know some people that have, and it's you lose
first time it's ever
everything.
happened to me. Well,
You
I've
lose
had
everything.
that's what I'm saying. Like if my room, let's say our whole apartment got caught on fire and it was just done. I'm like, dude, my laptop, my TV, my bed, all my clothes, like that'd be disastrous. Like I wouldn't even know what to do
Yeah.
after that.
That's why it's always great to have a fireproof safe, obviously, and renters insurance and things like that. Which I think in New York State is required now to
What
have
is?
like renters insurance.
Oh, it's definitely not. It's not
Like
for me.
when you sign a new lease. Well, you've been in that building for.
I was just talking to my room before we did the show actually, and we mentioned like apparently it's not that expensive renters insurance. I thought it was like most insurances, but apparently it's not. And I was like, maybe we should look into that
Yeah.
if it protects. Because like I said, dude, like I don't even know where I would go for the night. Like, who the fucking place do I stay at? Everyone, like I don't even know where I'd go. I'd be fucked.
Yeah. Look into Lemonade if you're trying to looking at renters insurance. Very cheap.
Lemonade.
Lemonade. Yeah.
Oh, good at that.
Yeah. Check it out.
All right,
Lemonade
Terrence.
sponsor us.
Yeah, I mean, even the Beyonce
Sponsor
song "Lemonade"
sponsor
can
Joe's
sponsor us.
building.
Yeah, sponsor my fucking. If you're an insurance company, does renters insurance sponsor us? I'll take your insurance. Terrence, let me ask you a question, man. What do you know, or do you have any experience in a polyamorous relationship? A relationship where it's not just you and one person; it's like multiple people. You got like other girlfriends, or you sleep around, like different versions of it, obviously.
Wait, what? I feel like I've heard of this, but I honestly have like
different. I mean,
very
obviously,
little to no knowledge of it.
So I have a friend. She has a girlfriend. She has two girlfriends. So they like monogamous would be like you and Corey are monogamous. So you're just together alone. I assume. That's what a monogamous monogamous ones are together. Only those two.
Yeah, that I know. Monogamous.
Polyamorous is like you're not that. But like I said, I don't know nearly enough about it. But for instance, like a friend of mine, she has two girlfriends. So like they're all three girlfriends. So they're with multiple. And I think even they have it to where like they can sleep with other people in certain scenarios as well. I think it just depends. You can be like an open, relationship where you're.
Wait, so we're describing an open relationship between three people.
Well, yeah, but again,
that are aware.
It could, yes, it could be any. Yeah, it's not cheating. That doesn't count. But yeah, let's say like right now, I met a girl and we got into a relationship. She was like, hey, like I kind of want an open relationship. So basically, what it would mean is like she could be with other guys and I could be with other girl. And again, there's every individual one has their own rules. Like there are couples who are married who like once a year you can do it, or you never tell me about it. There's a million different scenarios you can do. Basically, yeah, like you're not just limited to one person. Like, have you ever done this before? Not cheating again. Doesn't count.
Open relationship, yes.
Really?
I've done an open relationship before. Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as open relationship,
yeah.
It had its ups and its downs. I would say
you said that like it was a pun or something for a second there. I thought you were going it has its ups and its downs.
Yeah, it had its ups and its downs, the thing about it was for me, and I can't speak for anybody else, but the thing for me was it was too much because like you're in a relationship.
What was the thing? It was like basically you're with a girl and you both can sleep with other people. That was just like, simple as that.
Yeah. It was just, like in a sense, it's like you're just dating, like this is just like the tryout, but you're constantly in the tryout phase.
That's how I would feel. Like, this is why I don't know if I could ever really do it. Like, let's say I met a girl, we're together for like 6-8 months, we're happy, monogamous, and then she says this. I don't know if I could do it then, because I'd be like, well, I look at you as like this in this monogamous relationship. I don't know if I could now add people. But then if I met someone and we talked for a couple of weeks and she was like, oh, I want to be in an open relationship, and we tried it, I feel like it would never, to me, I feel like I would never, it'd be never like a real relationship. It would just be like one girl that I'm sleeping with among others, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the
So I feel
whole the good part about it obviously was, it was like this. Look,
Did you
I
ride the
had this.
trike ever?
Was that
How often did you ride the trike in this relationship?
ride the trike?
I think you can figure out what that means, Terrence.
No,
Three-way.
I'm
Tricycle, freeway.
tricycle. Oh,
Because there's 3 wheels on tricycle, Terrence.
I didn't. No.
Jesus
Didn't
Christ.
happen.
Didn't happen once, really.
No, it didn't happen. Didn't happen.
That's- I
There
mean,
was talks about it, but didn't happen. No, I think the thing was, there was like a reliable person, right? That was the person you're in a relationship with. That's quote unquote relationship, but that was the reliable person. And then outside of that was everything else that you just kind of had a doorway open to. So I used to make the excuse that, oh, I'm just a natural flirt. I like to flirt, whatever, right? I used to make that excuse. So it was just like, okay, well, I have the ability to flirt with other women without feeling, bad about it or feeling like I owe her something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start thinking about it, it's just like, you know what? Well, she's doing the same thing too. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
And
presumably that's the point.
yeah, and then we spoke about this. So obviously, that means that it's quote unquote okay. But what if somebody starts to feel like, you know what, I want this to be a bit more, and the other person feels like I don't. I like what we got going on.
That's tricky, right? That could be that's almost any relationship. If someone wants to get more serious than the other, it's a tricky situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's touchy. It's definitely touchy. I mean, look, I think when you're younger, it's two phases of it. I think when you're younger or when you're mature enough to handle it. You have to be mature enough to handle everything that a open relationship comes with. At the time, I was not mature enough to handle everything it comes with.
I can understand that. I mean, it's good that you can recognize that, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, look, they talked about Will and Jada have an open relationship for years, right?
Yeah, they have. It seems like that's what they're doing. But yeah.
I mean, but they've still been married for probably over 20 years, I think.
Yeah, it's in the 90s at some point for sure.
Yeah, it's been a long ass time.
Do you want to know, if it was presented to me, like I said early on, I would consider it. But do you know my biggest fear and the thing that would probably happen, which is why it's like I shouldn't do it?
What's that?
I wouldn't be able to find anyone else. You know how hard it is for me to get with one girl? I'd be like, oh yeah, it's been an open relationship. Meanwhile, she's banging dudes she went to Domino's every other day. And I'm like, no one wants to be with me. So I'm in the worst parts of an open relationship where my girl is getting banged out and I just have no one else. That's my biggest fear, Dance.
That's horrible.
Is that not an unfounded fear, though?
Thought. What's that?
Is that not is that unfounded to have a fear like that? Like, what if that happens?
I mean, my confidence level is way too high for me to even think that way. I'll be honest.
Listen, I am a stoic. I think of it best case and worst case scenario, and I'm in the middle of it. So that is why I think I know I have to recognize the worst case scenario in order for me to be in the middle. So,
no, I get it. I get it.
So, Terrence, this is definitely a topic we should have a female correspondent for. I feel like.
You know what? I kind of agree with that.
Let's see if we can pull someone in here. Do we got somebody?
We got somebody.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey.
Yes, we can.
Hi. Awesome.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show, the beautiful Jerry.
Hello. Good to be here. Thanks for having
me. Love it.
Thank you.
I thought for a second there, I thought you were doing that, Jerry, and I was like, well, that's a little much.
That's funny. I just walk in with my own. I actually have my own song, guys.
If you did, that'd be a phenomenal. You should
intro music
when you come back to the show. Can you please have your own song?
Fine, I'll come back with some kind of Metallica theme song in the back.
I don't know if you guys have ever met in real life, by the way, Terrence and Jerry, but if not,
never. But I feel like I've heard about you for sure. Back in the company days where Joe. I don't know, Joe, if you want to. Can I say the name of the company?
Sure. It's not something to brag about, really.
All right, cool. All right. Back in when Joe was working for Google.
Oh, yeah. I mean, was I working for Google, Terrence? Right. Jeez, I didn't mean to.
I like using the word specifically working at Google because
we'll go into that.
That was a more technical, correct way to put it. But yeah, I've also heard a lot about you, Terrence.
Yeah, I'm sure I've mentioned both of you to each other because you're two pretty close friends of mine.
Yeah.
So Jerry, we're talking about sort of like monogamous relationships and polyamorous relationships.
Oh,
which
fun.
we are idiots about.
Which we don't know. I don't know much. Terrence apparently was in an open relationship briefly. He's currently in a very monogamous relationship.
Very monogamous.
Monogamous is
Painfully monogamous.
Very monogamous.
completely. And if anyone's interested in Terrence, fuck off. He is not interested in you.
Yeah.
Jerry, I guess, hey, you chime in. Have you an experience with this? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I do actually. I actually have some experience in non-monogamous relationships, and I kind of lean toward that lifestyle when it comes to like romantic partnerships.
Man, we chose
It's a mess.
we chose a good person for this topic, Terrence.
Yeah, no, it can be really complicated, but there's a lot of like not to say like reward, but there's just a lot of different kinds of like payoffs and like assurances that you get, because it makes everyone's insecurities go nuts.
Yeah,
insecurities. So I don't, Joe, you want to take the lead on that one? Or...
Well, so I just said before we brought you on, I said my biggest fear, if I met someone and they were like, oh, let's be an open relationship. My biggest fear is I would say yes, and then she would be like meeting guys left and right, and I would be meeting no one. And so I'd be like the worst part of it. I have the worst part of an open relationship where my girl's getting banged out by every other guy and I'm just by myself still.
What's funny is that I've heard like every single guy that I like that talks about this, like that I talk about this with, they kind of say the same thing where they're like, well, it's not going to be fun if I'm not getting laid as much as you are. Just like,
but why is that the only part that's being thought of?
It wouldn't even be like the amount. It's just I feel like I would just be like, I've met no one for 6 months and she's met like 35 people, and I'd be like, what's the point of this? Women don't have to worry about this.
Like, whatever you like, there's 10 other guys I like as well.
What if you had a girlfriend who was bi and then she met a girl that she really liked and she was like, hey, like, like I still really like you as like as my male counterpart, but you don't fulfill all of the needs of, things.
Right.
And then there's like a girl that I like, and then, she would fulfill that part of the needs.
Is there a trike possibility to ride the trike?
A what?
A three-way.
See, I told you I wasn't the only one. I didn't know what the hell a trike was.
Terrence, why would you trike?
Yeah, who says that?
Tricycle.
I've never heard that.
3 wheels on a tricycle. Everybody, Google it.
Never heard that before.
Anyway, I guess it sounds. Never mind. I guess so. In this situation, is there a possibility of a threesome? Is that where you're going with this, or it's just like?
No. That would be up to the girl, honestly. She would be like, oh, I really like her and I want her out of myself. Or she'd be like, yeah, I'm down to like share her with you if she is also attracted to you, because that third person is also a whole human person that has to be like attracted to you.
The odds of that are so slim. It's like
I know. Like, when do you ever meet someone where like I think
to me, never.
It's and weird. Your partner is hot? No, the partner. Anytime someone runs around looking for a unicorn, the partner is always ugly. Whether it's like the girl, it's like either a hot dude and an ugly chick, or it's an ugly like dude and a really hot chick.
Terrence, there's I don't want to mention them on air, but there's a couple from our Toys R Us days. I think you probably know who I'm talking about.
I can mention them.
He was fat and white.
Yeah.
Censored. No, why do you, Terrence? We're not mentioning it because of what I'm about to say.
I feel like there's a lot of dudes named
Censored.
So I wouldn't.
Well, the reason I say that's because him and his girl at the time asked about every woman that we've ever worked with.
Oh yeah, they were asking everyone.
Yeah, literally, I met at least like 6 or 7 different women. Well, not met, I talked to after I left there, who were like, "Oh yeah, they try to get me a threesome." So, and she was hot. He was not.
Well, so they were just like hornballs looking for like a third like fun insert. They weren't like
that whole situation. No, I think it was more that. Yeah, but that whole relationship was.
I mean, to be fair, we were like what? Early 20s at the time, so at the point everybody's a horn dog at that point, right?
Yeah, but they were married. True. They were married is a little different, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe they're the swinging type.
Well, they're divorced now, so.
Or they're the very open type.
All right, so wait, I do have a question for Jerry though.
They're so open they divorced each other.
I do have a question for Jerry about this, right? Because you spoke about the kind of gifts and curse about it, right? What are you gaining besides the physical part? Right.
That's a good question.
We get it. What are you gaining more so from the poly relationship side?
So I'm glad you asked. Thanks for asking.
That's a great question.
I think what I what I gained from it, honestly, is being able to be like a freer, just more honest person with myself and with everyone around me is what I've noticed. It just like, it forces you to like tell everyone up front, like, hey, I'm like, that's making me jealous. I don't like that. I want to be prioritized right now. Or,
You don't
hey,
think you could do that in a monogamous relationship?
no, you cannot. You can't. There's never
What?
been. I have dealt with, for some reason, communication is so much worse in monogamous relationships than it is in open relationships. I have found.
I will say, and I do not mean to insult you by this, I think that might be the people you're choosing to be in monogamous relationships.
Anytime somebody starts off like that, right?
No, because I've been in communicative, like, you know, like monogamous relationships too. But yeah, for the most part, I do think that there's just like, I guess for me, you know, because I also feel like a polyamorous person by nature. I don't like.
Jerry, you're very like free, and I feel like you would feel tied down if you were in a monogamous relationship.
Do.
Yeah, I could see
very
that.
Weird. And it doesn't mean that I'm not loyal, because I am a very like loyal lover when it comes to like who I'm like with.
Right.
Is that a mentality or is that a feeling?
That's a like, feeling. I feel like I used to get in trouble. So when I was in high school, I would have like this like main squeeze boyfriend that I was kind of on and off with. And every now and then, you know, every time we were off, I would kind of run off and do something. I would be flirty with someone and I wouldn't think it was harmful. And I would be having a really good time. And it, like, for me, it just felt,
just
very
flirting?
natural. Just, okay, you know, like having fun, hooking up, whatever.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, and then we would come back to each other and he'd make me feel awful about it. Like I cheated on him and we weren't even together. And I would be like confused. I was genuinely confused. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I was just like, I enjoyed like a couple of moments with this person, but like, I still feel like individually like fantastic about you right now. So like, I didn't really understand. And I just like, and then once the world got up to date with all these terms, like non-monogamy and polyamory, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's like, I've always been on to this.
Yeah. I was like, this makes a lot of sense. This really kind of aligns with how I like choose to like love people, if that and how I choose to like have connections with people.
Interesting.
Okay. So what is you could tell me if I'm going a little bit too far, right? What is there's another version of poly, right? After that, you know, because it's like, I'm not just attracted to men or women, I'm attracted to whatever. That's not.
Well, wait,
what's the whatever? That's sexual orientation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. All right.
Yeah, that's different. That's like, you know, I wasn't born polyamorous and I can't fight it, you know?
Right.
That's a great point.
I'm okay with sounding dumb as long as I learn.
I hear you. No, yeah, but when you put it like that, you know, like that's kind of how you like can like defer the two. And it's funny because a lot of people in the LGBTQ community are more open with dating than like straight people. Quick side, it tends to be synonymous.
Quick side thing, Jerry. I mentioned the Terrence. Was this on air? I don't remember. I said that they need to stop adding letters and symbols to that because it's just getting confusing. Listen, just
LGBTQ+IA.
Yes. What the fuck? Just listen. You can just say like LGBTQ, just we all know what the rest of it is, but you can't be LGBTQIIA QST LMNOP. Like I can't say that in an everyday conversation.
LGBTQIA+, you know?
I think there's more. I think there are more letters now, actually. I think they've added letters to that.
That's why I put a plus in, just in case. Terrence. I don't want to leave anyone out.
See, if Terrence is afraid to offend
anyone,
people.
Please attack Joe.
Ain't no one attacking me, man.
Not attack me.
Spitting the truth. Spitting the truth.
That is a huge community. I don't think
Jerry is part of that community, and she just said she agrees.
I am. I did it. That's strong.
Sounded like you did. Just turned on me there, but all right, fine. Everyone come after me. Everyone come after me. Fuck it.
I said it's just safe to just throw. Listen, wherever you want to stop in the letters, just throw a plus in at the end. Just to be like, you know, I don't want to forget anyone. LGBT+ community done. Whoever else, yes.
Okay, so Jerry, I have to ask this, right? So with the poly relationship, do you feel like there's a chance of you getting married that way as well?
I was going to ask this question as well.
Yeah, definitely. I could totally see that because I know that I work really well with having like a main like partner to be loyal to and like having like a main squeeze. and then maybe, and then like, you know, like date
I love
like
this
other
term
people like more
squeeze.
casually, maybe like maybe like just go on like a few dates for like some fun, but like, you know, like kind of like date other people just like a little more casually, and just to be in like a partnership where we both understand that like connecting with other people doesn't take away from like our main love from each other, and we can still build a life together while like working through that.
Now, do you think that is going to be hard to find?
People that
What
accept that.
Yeah,
I've done it before.
okay.
I did it at one point. It was kind of working out, and that relationship actually did not like break up because of anything to do with our non-monogamous lifestyle. Like it broke up just because of like just things we had
Yeah.
between the two of us. So that was interesting for me, and I saw it work, and I was like, oh, interesting. And I showed like loyalty, you know, like you just got to make sure that you're always like reassuring and like being like super loyal and staying very respectful to the boundaries that you guys create. Because polyamory doesn't look like one specific thing to every single person. It looks different.
That's what I was telling Terrence. I was like, it could be, there's a million different like types of rules you could have per relationship. Like it just depends. Like it could be a once a year thing to a don't ever tell me about it thing or anything else. Like
yeah, pretty much.
But
people like
you
that.
guys don't feel like that's too much though? Like even though
but again,
like you're
it's like
getting
you
the
set your
freedom.
own rules. Like
Yeah.
what is
if you
too much?
let's say you to Terrence, let's say I met someone who was like, we fall happily in love, but she's like, you know what, like I just want to like maybe once a year, both of us have a once a year pass where you if you maybe see someone, you know, and you don't have to use it, but maybe once a year, if you see someone you really like or something, I mean, you just have that. That way you wouldn't be cheating. It'd be with, you know, it's like allowed cheating, right? You have the ability to, maybe I would say yes to, I don't know. And it could be one of those things you can go.
That's not bad. That's not a bad deal for
and
a
it's like a
relationship.
It's like a don't ask, don't tell type thing where you're like, you don't tell me when it happens.
Don't tell. I'm personally very tell. I'm very like tell everything.
I remember you telling me about this.
No, fuck that. Lie to me.
Yeah, I think I'm more like Terry. I think I'm more like you, Terry. I'd be like, listen, if you
I can't deal with the hurt.
If you do cheat, yeah, just I don't ever want to know. Like, make sure I think you're doing something else.
But you know, you'd be surprised. Like people ask me to be like my second partner or my third partner. Like people ask like all the time. They'll be like, I know you have your main boyfriend, but like I'm going to be like your second.
You know what's crazy? So like this is, you know how dudes come up with the line and we, you know, to go to talk to a chick, right? And she like, oh, I have a boyfriend, whatever. Like, so
literally.
Like, so
it's
this is so
that.
like this is imagine Joe, you go, you talk to a chick, right? And she's like, oh, I have a boyfriend, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, so, and she's like, okay.
That would throw me off guard. I mean, I would never say any of that.
Right?
I would never say any of that, but yeah.
Like how crazy.
Someone said a boyfriend, I go, oh, I'm so, I would go, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'd back away slowly. Otherwise, I'm gonna get arrested or in jail.
You're a gentleman. I know that.
I am a gentleman.
You know what? I feel like monogamous relationships can sometimes like promote like over monogamy, and like it promotes like that control, like to own and possess the other person, and that's when you find that like toxic macho. Who are you looking at? Don't look over there. What's that in your phone? Who are you talking to? And I don't really like that. Yeah.
See that, and okay. So I'm glad you touched on that, right? Because previously in the past, before
I got currently in that relation.
no, not at all. No, in the past though, like I was a cheater. I was really. I
love how you were like, how do I phrase this properly?
Yeah, I cheated on every woman I've ever been around it, right?
Yeah, it turns like, how do I phrase this? I've cheated on every woman I've ever seen.
I was a jerk. I was a dick. Like I was a really bad person right before like my relationship now, right? And here's the thing. I went through the whole sneaking to talk to other people on the phone and the text messages, and you know, having to change my password every other week or whatever, just so she wouldn't get in the phone or whatever. Oh no, I was horrible, man.
It's good that I didn't know all of this ahead of time. I might have been like, maybe we shouldn't be friends.
No. Yeah. You definitely would have changed your mind about me for sure. But I say all of that because when I got into this relationship that I am in now, I went into it like, you know what? I'm just going to tell the truth about everything. I'm going to tell the truth about everything. I'm going to start by just telling you exactly whatever it is. I'm going to just be open about it, right? And now we have a very communicative relationship where we talk about everything. And I don't go through her phone. She doesn't go through my phone. we're
Yeah,
very,
I don't think that's healthy, by the way.
Yeah, that's absolutely, that's like a red flag for me.
Some people say it is, and I'm like, no, if you're having to go through any of their stuff,
if you go looking for something, you're gonna find it, right? They always say that, right? Whatever you're looking for, you're definitely gonna find. But also, it's like with me, I'm finally able to be like, you know what? Here's my phone. Like, you know, just if you want to use it or whatever the case may be, right? One time we're driving and it's like, you know, you want to pick the music, you know, here's my phone. Before there was a time where like I would go in the shower, I'd bring my phone with me. I'd sleep with the phone under my pillow. Like it's like a lot of
Terrence was the kind of guy who
I mean, it's guilty behavior.
It's
very guilty behavior. Very much so.
Because I remember Terrence was even the kind of guy I'd be like, hey man, so I call him like, hey, dude, what's up? And he'd be like, hey, how you doing? I'd be like, where are you right now, by the way? Like, why do you want to know? Like, fuck, man, like it's just me.
He could have been working for her.
That's his like. I guess it is a guilty mentality. I guess Jerry's right. It is, you were guilty, so that's the way you're acting.
Man,
she would call my best friend.
That's how you know you're behaving really bad.
Yeah. I told him at the time, I was like, why do you act this way?
Yeah, but Jerry, there's never been a person that agreed to it at first. Like, yeah, like I'm down with being into a relationship, and then changed their mind and switched up on you.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Or it's not even, they won't even like say that they changed their mind out loud. They'll just start like creating such specific boundaries and be like overly insecure about every single thing that like I can just feel that they're not okay with it. And I'll tell them like, hey, you don't seem cool with this. And like, I don't want to force you to do something where like, I'm clearly putting you through pain. Like, you know, like it doesn't make sense. Cause I want to be respectful of people too. I'm not just like, I'm going to do this whether you like it or not. Like, no, like I like to be very upfront. And like, if that's not your gig, then that's fine. It was something I was trying out for a little while. And, you know, surprisingly, I found people that were like, yeah, I'll stick around and see what this like looks like. And
so you've introduced people to this kind of lifestyle, I would say.
Yes.
Wow.
I would say in New York, people are a little more open to.
No, and the reason why I'm surprised is because like it's very rare that people are like, yeah, I'll try this completely new thing with sharing you know, especially like
she was just telling me about like last year she was telling me about someone she was with and like how she introduced him to it.
Oh yeah, guy as well.
Yeah. I've introduced a few guys. I've had open relationships with a few guys. And had a few of them meet at some point. It's
awkward.
It's been a really interesting ride. Yeah.
Is there a schedule or something that comes into play? Like
no.
I get her every other weekend or something.
Jesus.
Right.
Like use the prize, of course.
There's that monogamous talk again with the possession. No.
Yep, it's true.
I was just seeing someone like pretty seriously for a while, and they had known that I wasn't monogamous, but I wasn't like dating other people. Like we were together for super long, like just us. Where like I'm not interested in like, you know, like sleeping with everyone. Like I just have like
We're tied down.
I have a value. It's like a life value where like I genuinely don't believe in like the monogamy of like people like owning each other and tying each other down and being like, you're not allowed to feel the normal human temptations of life anymore, ever, or else that means you don't love me. I don't think that's a fair box to put people in. So, but that doesn't mean that I can't like love one person. So I was in a relationship for a little while, and then we started like kind of just being cool with dating other people like on the side here and there. And he was very open and we were very honest about it. And he said that like, my fear is that I don't want to lose you. And once he felt like assured that like he wasn't going to lose me, like regardless, that's when we were able to really open up.
That is also, I guess, a fear too.
Yeah, I mean, that's why people like, that's why people want to control like each other so much. Cause it's like, I'm afraid to lose you. I'm afraid if I let go, you're gonna run. You're gonna like leave me.
If I let go of the bird is gonna fly away.
Run. You should leave. You know, like I shouldn't be like having to tie you down like that.
I will say, I love
sound.
She's convincing me, right?
She makes it sound.
She's smart, man.
Appealing.
She does her shit. She does.
Yeah.
100% sound appealing. See, I'm not too sure about it though.
I'm telling you, if I met a girl like Jerry and like this is how it was pitched to me, I'd probably be like, I think I'm gonna try it out. Like, fuck it. Like she's selling me, man. Like it, listen, I think you make some excellent points though, Jerry. Like it is, the monogamous thing is very controlling. I've seen myself fortunately evolve when I was in my like late teens, early 20s, of being that way to not being that way. Like I don't ever want to be controlling or possessive and that type of shit.
I've been that way too.
Toxic,
it's funny because a monogamous relationship that also just not even just monogamous, but a person that is like playing games with you, kind of isn't being genuine with you, is like, and it's like making all of your insecurities come out. You're gonna like tend to want to control that person a little more. They're gonna start driving you nuts a little bit, and you're gonna see yourself become this toxic thing without even like wanting to. I mean, girls say it all the time, like men turn us crazy, and it's because of that. It's the whole like they play mind games, and I thought he liked me, but then he hasn't spoken to me in 3 days, and oh my god, and that's when, and all of a sudden
women do that shit too.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey, I'm not even this person. Why am I doing this? Like, why am I texting him 48 times right now?
I would. We don't talk about that. I would say like, yeah, like I would be open to an open relationship. It just, I guess, yeah, it depends. I don't know what I would specifically, like what rules I would want, but it's interesting, something to think about. I will say though, Jerry, I want to start using the term, I want someone else start using the term squeeze when they're referring to the relationship.
Main squeeze.
I love that. That sounds great.
That's super normal, Joe.
Okay, so you got to be an asshole, I guess. That's fine. You know,
super
Terrence,
normal. What's not normal is riding a trike.
Okay, so I'm an asshole then. Fine, Terrence. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. I'm just a horrible person. I don't know the specific things that you know. And
we love the asshole.
I could also see someone being offended, like if like I'm supposed to introduce you as my boyfriend or girlfriend, and then I'm like, hey, this is my main squeeze, and they're like, what?
Well, no, I mean, I guess I mean more like just referring to it, like, oh, this is he's my main squeeze or whatever. Like that, I think is like cute, but apparently it's just super common, and I should know this already because I don't
know. Hey, you know what? I've never heard anyone else but me say it. So,
all right, so I have one last question, right? I have one last question because
in this apparent interview that we're making,
yeah, right. This turned into a completely like different way, right? But I have one last question, right? So now that you said like kind of main squeeze or whatever, now this makes me think about side pieces and the people or women, men or whatever that are okay with being the side piece. Like, hey, you got somebody, I know you got that or whatever going on.
Isn't
and
that
when
just
you're with
what people
me,
say when they're cheating?
See, right. So now that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, so the person is cheating, but the person that's okay with being quote unquote the side piece, would you say that they're more so in a poly mind state?
Well, no, the term like polyamory only like is only valid if everyone is in the
know.
I said that earlier. I said you can't just cheat. Cheating doesn't count.
It's cheating if you're lying to anybody.
Oh, that's true. So no, I think it was before you were on, Jerry. I said it doesn't count if you cheat. That's just cheating. I'm like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like that person is cheating, but
cheating.
The one that's aware.
The term side dude would be like just like the more. That's why I phrase it.
The side dude
so it's like a casual person that I'm like dating. Maybe like a friends with benefits that it's just like less like official. Maybe they're dating someone that's like their main squeeze. You know, maybe they have someone already.
Main
but
squeeze and the side.
Yeah, I've also had people that I've like hooked up with, where it's just like, oh, like we just went out like to a bar and it was like I met someone. It was like it was just like a fun drunk night. Nothing crazy happened. We just had like some fun or something like that. And then there's also people that are like, oh, I do want something more serious, and I haven't been able to fulfill that all of the time. That being said, I'm super single now. I'm not doing anything with anyone. I'm very monogamous with me. So
that's good.
Oh, shout out to monogamy with me. I like that.
Listen, everyone needs to work on themselves at times, or just not be with somebody, man. Like we talked about this on one of the shows. Like you don't always need to be in a relationship. Like there's nothing wrong with just being like just by yourself. It's just life.
Yeah.
Shame codependency. Let's shame codependency.
Yeah, that is something I'll shame.
Codependency either. You can be totally dependent, codependent, co-parent, whatever your gig is. Right now, I tend to date people all of the time, and polyamory is exhausting. Meeting other people's needs all of the time, you know, and having more than one person to have to do that for.
I would just love one person, much less multiple. But you know, I'm stuck in this fucking COVID room, so.
Yeah, no, I'm just dating.
That's good though. This is a good talk though, Jerry. I hope it didn't feel like an interview. That wasn't the point. The point was just to have you on to talk. But
I learned a lot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm glad you learned a lot. Yeah.
Terrence is going to write a book on this now. He knows so much.
I definitely learned a lot from this one.
Yeah. I mean, I'll leave you with this. You know that marriage was a thing that was invented so that people can like survive back then. And it's technically not super necessary anymore.
Survival in terms of
Survival in the terms of
Procreating?
procreating, yes, but also you needed a partner to live life with and procreate people to work for you, aka your children and the farms around you. And that would like create, and then you would like take your children, marry them off to like the neighboring people so that you guys can help each other and become like a
And then
community and
build
such. And then with the royal people, that's how they made like political moves, by marrying each other off and things like that. So a lot of it has always been very like survival based and political based. And now we're like at a point, where it's not, it's a little bit outdated. Where it's like it's very much like, people can get married for romantic reasons only, exclusively. You don't have to do it to survive anymore.
Right.
So you have a choice.
Terrence is gonna come on next week and be like, I thought about it. Talk to the wife. We're leaning towards being open.
Yeah, right. What I'm gonna do is basically try to have my kids find the Princess Zamunda or something, marry them off that way.
What Terrence is going to do is delete this episode so no one ever hears it. Before you go, Jerry, do you have anything you want to shout out? Anything specific? I don't know if you're selling anything, you got a business. I don't know. Follow you on Instagram or something, whatever you want to shout out, unless it's like something horrible.
I'll just plug in my Instagram. I'm teaching some yoga classes in Miami right now. So if you guys have any local followers in Miami,
there you go.
Follow me on Instagram for more information on that. At Miss Jerry.
At Miss Jerry. How do you spell that? Because in case people.
It's Miss MISS _ JERII. That's 2 I's.
Double I. I will put that in the description for the episode in case you can't hear that apparently or something. But yeah, do you have any other questions or anything, Terrence? Anything?
No, I learned a lot. I appreciate it.
We'll definitely have you back on, Jerry.
Yeah, it's super fun. I'd love to come back on.
Yeah.
Terrence has got to teach me something now.
Yeah.
What could Terrence teach? That's a good question.
What can I teach? I can teach people how not to cheat. I can probably do that.
You're the what?
How not to cheat? Yeah.
Just to clarify, so like, would you go like Charles Manson and be like, how do you not murder people? Is that like what you do?
No, I can teach people how not to cheat. What I'm talking about is like the mind state of it, right? And what allows you, it almost to piggyback on what Jerry was saying, like the temptation factor and things like that, and how to kind of put yourself in a place where if you can't be monogamous, it's better to just not be in a relationship at all.
Just so everyone knows, on a unrecorded episode we did on a different platform, Terrence was encouraging me to cheat. He was saying that because I've never cheated, I should. And now he's apparently going to teach me.
Wait, this is a completely different topic that we can get into. We probably don't have enough time to get into that today.
You probably don't. But I will say, Jerry,
but it was a big topic.
We were doing a different show, and I said I've never cheated. And this is when Terrence revealed to me that he's cheated he's never not cheated except for the current relationship. And I was like, no, I never did. I don't see it. And he was like, no, you should though. Like you should.
I said he should try it.
You should give it a try. Try anything once. No, Terrence, that's not one of those things. That's not one of those things.
Thank you.
Why try it?
Why? I should be in an open relationship, if anything, because otherwise I'm literally saying
in an open relationship.
Well, this is just a lesson learned as far as like if I have an open relationship before or whatever. Obviously, I wasn't mature enough to handle it, but had I been, it probably would have worked. Probably.
Oh God. Anyway, before this spirals out of control,
I'm glad it didn't though. I'm happy.
But yes, like I said, thank you once again, Jerry. We'll definitely have you back on.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Yeah, it's great.
Thank you, Jerry.
Good one.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that was that.
All right, Joe. So what did we learn today?
I feel like we learned a lot about monogamy and polygamy is the right term. But you know what, man? Jerry was awesome, and I think she broke it down and made it not sound crazy. Like people say, oh, like open relationship or like a bunch of people, it sounds crazy, but she broke it down in a good way, right? Like I don't know if I could be in that kind of open relationship, but I definitely think I would give it a try.
I mean, it's not for everybody, right?
Right. But I definitely think I would give it a try for sure. Like if someone came up to me like she did, and again, you can make your own rules. Not like, but like you talk about what rules you agree on and you have them.
Boundaries. I think like boundaries is
whatever that is, whether
right?
that's, hey, we all hang out with whoever, we're all together and we just have sex or whatever, or whether it's once a year or anything in between, right? Like it's whatever that couple agrees with. So I don't know. I feel like if someone pitched that to me, if I met a girl I was into, and I'd be like, let me give it a try. If it doesn't work, I mean, it doesn't work, but I'd be into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good where I'm at.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if
you're obviously really happy
I'm
right
good where
now,
I'm at.
but
I think, but like I think you and Jerry brought up, if you're married and you're together and you kind of like get a hall pass, whatever, once a year or whatever. I think for couples that have that trust and have that communication, are able to be at the point in their lives in their relationship where they're like, yeah, like I trust my partner enough where this won't affect our bond. It'll
right.
just be kind of like that, quote unquote, that hall pass. It's just like, hey, like once a year, go. If you use it, use it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, and you
But
never know what's going
we
to happen in
still
the
who we
future,
are.
right? Like you never know. Maybe you get to a point where you both kind of want that, and maybe you don't. Or you never know what the future holds. But it is
Mm-hmm.
it. Like I said, it does make more sense. And I think it does seem like something not as crazy as it was in my head maybe before. Not
Yeah,
that I was completely, but it does sound maybe a little crazier. But when you kind of break it down, it's really not. It's just another thing, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, shout out to everyone in a monogamous relationship, to everyone in a polyamorous relationship, and shout out to people that just love.
yeah, I mean, I love love. We talked about that. Love is
Yeah,
amazing. Can't wait
love.
to be in love again. It's been a little bit. All right, Terrence, we always in the show with a hypothetical question, of course.
What's up?
So, next question, Terrence. Let's say you were in a non-pandemic world. You're walking down the street, you see a woman, older woman, maybe in her 80s, 90s, right? And out of nowhere, someone comes, snatches her purse, right? And this person's running towards you now with a stolen purse.
You gotta help.
Well, that's my question. Do you go put your head down, don't say anything? Do you call the police? Do you go, you know what? If I can just like get my foot out right before he comes by, or like, what is the plan? Like, what would you actually do?
You gotta help. Your reaction obviously would differ different between whatever's happening, right? Like what angle is he running at you with?
Right.
Does it look like he might have a weapon or something like that?
Right, that's true. Yeah.
Like
If he has a
all
gun,
of
it's
these.
like, well,
Yeah, I mean, look, if he got a gun, it's
what are you
like
gonna
you
do? You're
did the
not
right
gonna,
thing,
yeah,
grandma. Give it up.
yeah. Like, what are you gonna fight him or take it
Give it
down? It's
up,
not
grandma.
gonna
I
work.
mean,
But I assume he's just a purse snatcher. There's nothing on him. Or
yeah. I
you see
mean,
that. Yeah.
just a person natural, whatever. Yeah, you got to try to tackle him. You got to try to tackle him. You got to try to get him down or whatever, trip him, fall him, whatever the case may be, pin him against something.
I think I would
Whatever it may be.
maybe, it depends on like obviously exact specific, but I would maybe try to like pretend I wasn't gonna do anything. And then as he ran by, you like do the foot thing. Or you know what I think would be the best thing to do is if you're near like a trash can, as he's like, don't even seem like you're doing anything,
Pull
but
it
as he
out.
comes by, if you push a trash can, someone running full speed, dude, he's done. That dude's tossing over, flipping. You can easily go, that's my fucking friend. He's gonna be too fucked up to do anything. You snatch the purse back and be like, bro, fuck off before I, whatever. I don't know. But I would have to do something. I couldn't just, like I said, if he had a gun or something, it'd be one thing. But if he's just running,
Yeah.
I gotta stop him. I can't just
I
be
mean,
like,
that's
oh,
people with good morals, right? I feel like nowadays people are observers. Everybody just wants to watch and
or
post
film
on
it, right?
Instagram.
Yeah.
That shit makes me sick. I remember seeing a video on Twitter where somebody was filming a woman being attacked. Like the dude was about, he looked like he was about to rape her.
Well, that's great. That's a great world we live
and
in.
and somebody filmed this. I was like, this should not be a way I should be able to see this right now, because somebody should have intervened. Forget
100%.
having
Yeah.
your phone out. Forget having your phone out. Somebody should have intervened and stopped this from being happening. She's clearly begging for help. She's
Yeah, it's
crying out for help
terrible.
right now.
Terrible.
And this somebody is filming this. I'm mad at who filmed it. I'm mad at the people around that did nothing. I'm mad at men not being men nowadays. Now,
Right.
I'm not that old. We're not that old.
No, we're
But
not
what,
like
we do
60s.
know is that when it comes to being a man and being a gentleman, you stand on certain grounds and you stand on morals, right? I stopped seeing dudes helping women with strollers. They're no longer doing that. They're no longer holding doors open for women. Like,
Sad.
it's a sad time.
Sad state
I'm
of
gonna
affairs, man.
continue to do it. I'm gonna continue to do it. I'm gonna continue to try to show
Yeah, me too.
other men to be a man. When you step outside, when
That's
you're
being a
inside,
man, Terrence. That's being a
step
man.
outside, you be a man. You're a man every day. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. And don't be afraid of doing the right thing. And even if you think it's the right thing and somebody else may think it's the wrong thing or whatever, learn from it. Learn from it. That's all it's about.
Terrence, I love that. It could only have been better if you ended it with, need I say more? Should have ended it that way. That little speech.
Episode 1, but we learned it though. We learned
episode
it.
Wow, episode 10, but yeah,
episode 10, episode 1 of Need I Say More? But yeah,
right.
yeah, that would be
I
a great
agree.
plug right there. A great plug.
I do agree with what you said though. Yeah, like got to be chivalrous, got to do the right thing, and yeah, if someone's gonna personage me, I'm stopping them. You know, like I said, if I can, if they run in another direction, I mean, maybe not, but if they're coming at me, like I said, the best thing to do would be to push something in their way. If hopefully there's like a garbage can or like, you know, one of those news things, like you pull the newspapers out of. Push that shit.
The little glass door in New York City.
Yeah. I would definitely do something. But yeah, man. Anything else? You got anything else?
Nah, man. This was a fun episode. I liked it.
It's an awesome episode. Shout out to Jerry. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I almost forgot. If you want to reach out to the show, Terrence, we have ourselves a new email.
Oh, let's go.
As we shed our gray area roots, we have it now. I'm not thrilled with what we had to get. We didn't get what I wanted, but we do have another one's called Need I Say More Pod at gmail.com. Need I Say More Pod at gmail.com.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I like that.
Need I Say More is taken. So
I like it.
So yeah, if you want to rate in the show, that's it for me, man.
Yeah. We loved it. We enjoyed it. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Need I say more? Need I say more? You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Hold on, Joe. I said that backwards.
Yeah, I don't.
I said that backwards. So
edit that out.
Yeah. Let me get another take at that. And then let me get another take at that.
All right.
I just realized I was like,
you also, you didn't need to do the appreciate part either. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I said that backwards, and that was wrong. Okay.
Hey,
all right.
First time.
Take two. Let's go.